Hi, my name's Adam. Thanks so much for joining us today. Today we're going to be talking about building an emergency fund. So we're in week 2 of the personal finance mini series. So today we're focusing on an emergency fund, why you need it and how to build one. So as we went through 2020, a lot of us lost our jobs, had financial hardship, and had to fall back on our emergency fund. So hopefully you had one. And if you didn't have one, this video is really going to help you get one set up, where to get one set up, how to do that, and why it's so important. Of course, you may know that already if you had to lean on an emergency fund that you didn't have. Before we jump into it, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do so. There's a lot of you watching the videos that aren't part of our family. Join the family, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. We put out 2 videos every week, Tuesday and Fridays, all on financial planning, retirement planning, building wealth, paying less tax, all that fun stuff. So join our community, hit the subscribe, and keep an eye out for more videos. So why do you need an emergency fund? So again, if you went through 2020 and you had some financial hardship, you understand the importance of an emergency fund. But let's say you didn't have a tough year in 2020, or you've never used your emergency fund and it's just sitting there. Well, like they always say, the best offense is a really good defense. And an emergency fund is kind of the first line of defense. So if you've had, a short-term or even a long-term financial hardship, that emergency fund is going to hopefully get you through that hump. So historically, we've always told our clients to have an emergency fund between 3 and 6 months. After we went through 2020, we now recommend doubling that. So we recommend having an emergency fund of between 6 and 12 months. So whatever your monthly expenditures are, times that by 6 to 12, and that's the amount of money you should have in an emergency fund. I know that number could seem really high. Like if your expenses are $5,000 a month, you're looking at saving $50,000. So I get that it's a large amount, but having that money put aside and there just in case is really going to help you when and if that just in case actually happens. So start saving. I know it feels like it's kind of money put aside. You're not making a lot. You're not investing it. I get that, but it's really going to protect down the road if something does happen to you. So an emergency fund is so important to have. So in the past, some of our clients have asked us, can we just have a line of credit set up? And it's always been an okay strategy. Instead of saving money and putting it into a high interest savings account that you're not making too much off of, have a line of credit there available to you for that $50,000. And if something happened, at least you could access money off of that. There is some flaws with that. The line of credit could be attached to your mortgage. You could have to renew your mortgage. If you don't have a job, they may not renew your line of credit. It could fall into some really tough spots. So we do not recommend having a line of credit for your emergency fund. You should have cash set aside in a savings account for emergency fund. So as you start to build up your emergency fund, and maybe you're saving monthly or weekly or bi-weekly, whatever it is, where do you put that money? So obviously, if you just start putting it into a savings account at your bank, you're probably going to make between right now 0.1 to 0.3%. Interest rates will start to climb up over the next few months. But again, your interest rate on that high interest savings or savings account is not going to be that high. So because we want to save a fairly large account, like if you're going to save up $50,000, the difference between getting 0.1% and 1 or 1.5% is quite substantial. So we want to make sure we're finding the highest interest rate possible. Now, you have 2 options, or I guess 3 options for this. Option 1 is just leave it in a savings account at the bank. Obviously, this would be the worst option because usually, and right now, banks don't offer great interest rates. Option 2 would be to kind of jump your money around, and this takes more work, but there's a lot of banks like Manulife and Tangerine, and a lot of these online banks will have promo rates. So they might have a 3 or 6 month promo rate. So instead of 1%, they're going to offer you 2.5% for the next 6 months, but then after the 6 months, it's going to drop to 0.2 or 0.3%. Okay, so you could grab that promo rate before it expires. You could find another one and transfer your money over. Again, that's a lot of money movement, a lot of work on your end. Sure, you might get a little bit more interest, but it's going to be a lot more work. So if that's you, if you're just after the highest interest rate, you're willing to do the work, that's probably your best option. If you search around, there's enough promo rates out there that you could probably get a bit of a higher rate ongoing for forever. But again, you're going to have to move your money around quite a bit. The third option, and what I do personally and what I would recommend for you, is to find a good, solid, high interest savings account that is a permanent rate. It's not a promo rate, it's just an ongoing rate, and it's a rate that will increase as interest rates go up down the road. So the bank that I use personally is an online bank called EQ Bank. Historically, EQ has some of the best consistent rates in the marketplace. So right now, as I record this, the rate is 1.5% on a high interest savings account. So instead of getting 0.2, 0.3 at the bank, I'm getting 1.5%. So again, as you build up your emergency fund, the difference in interest rate can help a whole ton. So I'll put a link below to sign up for EQ Bank. It is a referral link. You will get $20 credited to your account. I also get $20. You don't have to use it. Just Google EQ Bank and sign up for an account. You do not have to use the affiliate link. There is one below. But sign up for the account. It's a great rate. It's the best rate that we've kind of found out there that's consistent. Again, you can go the promo rate model, but we prefer just, a monthly savings. What we do is we set up an amount that goes out of our Coast Capital, who we do our family banking with, goes directly to EQ Bank every month, and it just continues to save and build up that emergency fund for us. So that's our strategy. It's simple, it's done in the background. I don't have to think about it. I know I'm getting a good rate, and it just helps us build that emergency fund. So if anything ever happened to my wife, myself, we needed access to the emergency fund, we know it's there and it's been earning a good interest rate. The last tip I want to throw out there for your emergency fund, don't put it into a GIC or any other type of product that's locked in. So do not lock in. You don't know when your emergency is coming. So make sure your emergency fund can be accessed like that. And that's where a high interest savings account, again, it pays a bit of a higher interest rate. I know it's not a great rate right now because we're in very low interest rate environment, but you can get that money today. So that's probably one of the most important parts is accessibility to your emergency fund. So wherever you put that money, just make sure that you can get it like within a day. So very important. Again, emergencies are exactly that. It's, I need the money today. I didn't realize I need the money today. So just make sure that wherever you put it, whatever bank or online bank or investment, whatever you do, make sure that it's safe, doesn't ride with the stock market, and you can get at it anytime you need to. So again, there's a link to EQ Bank below. You can use that or just Google EQ Bank. We find it's a great resource for us, for my family. A lot of clients we send there as well. A great place to start your emergency fund. So if you have one and you're looking for a better rate, check out EQ Bank. If you're just getting going on your emergency fund, set up so an automatic payment goes into your EQ Bank from your regular bank account every single month or bi-week or however you get paid, whatever works for you and your budget. But start saving into there. Build that emergency fund because again, we don't know when the next emergency is going to come in your life, but to have the cash there when it does, you're going to be so thankful for it. So thanks for joining us in week 2 of our personal finance mini-series. Again, talking about emergency funds, why it's important, where to save it, how to do that. So hopefully that helped you out. Hopefully you can get started on your emergency fund. If you have any questions or comments, or you found a place that has a more, it's a consistent but a higher rate than EQ Bank, leave a comment below. Would be happy to check it out and give my feedback on that. So thanks so much for joining us today. Again, hit the thumbs up if you enjoy these videos. It really does help our videos get out to more people. And we'll see you next week.